Let's do this. Let's see. Welcome to the stream, Anna. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Well, we got some first. We got some. This is the first time I ever got views this quickly. I'm not gonna lie. It's the first time I've ever gotten some traction this quickly. But yeah, I had a go live together option, but I couldn't like get it to work for some reason. Here, let me see. Okay. Uh I'm liking the new live options, I'm not gonna lie. I'm liking the new live options. I'm loving the new live layout. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. But here. There we go. Welcome everybody to the stream. My name is Ken from the Ikwanastahab or the Brethren of Gold. Today I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in and get themselves comfy, cozy, comfortable at home. You know, like I just want to say though, like happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, everybody. This is my first time. That's my second, technically my second time, uh, streaming in the afternoon. I usually stream at night, but I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'll probably stream in the afternoon just to get a better viewer base, hopefully. So hopefully this stream goes by very well, and hopefully this stream sets a precedent for hopefully the stream can set a precedent for like uh what the streaming time should be from now on. You know, so like if the stream does as good as last Sunday's night stream, then I will do more streams in the afternoon. But if the stream kind of flops a little bit, then oh, whoa. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. I think this is a good time to start this. Okay, so what are we doing on the stream today, guys? What we are doing is we are reading part 2 of 3 of hold up of J.J. Hurtak's Keys of Enoch. So this is an introduction to J.J. Hurtak's Keys of Enoch. And there are initially 64 keys in the Keys of Enoch. However, there is also in the introductory segment there is just how many viewers there is in the stream, 12. So yeah, JJ Hurtak's Keys of Enoch are basically. Oh, nice, thanks, Anna. I appreciate you. Look, we got the singing bowl out too. Hold up. Let me get some space here. There we go. We got the singing bowl out here. Hold up. This table is very flimsy, so it can't really like do like the sound where you go around it, but. All right, now we've cleansed our space. We're gonna get into reading the Keys of oh, I'm gonna be upside down. I meant to do that. The Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak. So where we left off in the previous stream is we left off on page 45, and yeah, we're gonna get straight into some visuals, guys, because we end. So if you guys are not aware of like the if you guys aren't aware of the Keys of Enoch, there are these physical keys of coding, of meditation, of contemplation, and of visualization that are supposed to be used to basically unlock like higher realms of consciousness, higher realms of mind, and higher realms of energy. So we start off this portion of the reading. We start off a portion of it with this. The divine is the mind face of a loving father rejoicing in his creation. And if you guys see right here, this is the letter Yod and this is the letter Bet. Now Yod has a value of 10 and Bet has a value of 2. And so when you put 10 and 2 together, what do you get? You get 12. So this is a representation of the 12, of the number 12. And in this particular representation of the number 12, here, let me see. Yeah, in this representation of the number 12, the importance lies in it being a mastery number. So 12, I want to say 33, uh yeah, 12, 33, 22. These are all like mastery numbers pretty much, because typically speaking, 7 as well. 7 is kind of like a mastery number too. But yeah, thanks Anna. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, but 12, 23, not 22, 12, 7, 22, 33. These are all like what I would consider to be mastery numbers, because a lot of these religious systems, they base their masteries in these numbers. So like the 32 paths of the Kabbalah, and then the silent 33rd path, right? And then there's the 22 major arcanas of the tarot, which translates to the 22 Hebrew letters. Then there's the 7 ancient days. The 7 ancient planets which collide with the days of the week. There is tons of things. Oh yeah, there's 12 zodiac signs, 12 disciples. There's 12 um alchemical processes that must be done in order to complete the Philosopher's Stone. Hello, welcome to the stream. Right now, we're just talking about the Key of Enoch right here, number 12. The divine is the mind face of a loving father rejoicing in his creation. That's what we're reading right now. But yeah. I want you guys to see this photo, and I want you guys to tell me what you guys think of it. What do you guys think of this photo? It's in a language I don't understand. It seems to be some sort of Orientalist language. It seems to be Tibetan and Oriental, like either Chinese or Japanese. It definitely looks like kanji though. But this language at the top, I'm almost 100%. Like, do you guys see this right here? This language at the top, I'm 100% certain is Tibetan. But the rest of the Oriental language, I'm not too sure what it is. But yeah, what do you guys think of it? Like, what do you guys think it represents? Just putting out there for the ether to consume. But anyways, we're gonna get into reading the book, if that's cool with y'all. So, welcome all the new people in the stream. We are going to be reading the expounding upon this code right here. The divine is a mind face of a loving father rejoicing in his own creation. So, without further ado, let's get started. Enoch explained to me, Jacob, that the divine is in all dimensions and exists within all universal intelligences. Planetary evolutions form the body extension of this mind force. The divine is the mind face which connects all universes through love. The Father universes give unto the Son universes of light of the divine inheritance, which the Father rejoices in sharing with his children. The key tells us the mind face of the Father emanates the light necessary to make the human creation a tabernacle for Maorif, the luminaries. The body vehicle is enwrapped in 12 meridians of indwelling light, the stralim, which connect the human face of evolution with the 365,000 space-time human representations of God with the human eye, which the human eye can behold. Hey Tyrone, what's good, man? Try to get as much people in here, guys. Try to get as much people in here so we can function and we can move and then we can get some motion, hopefully. But motion isn't always necessary. Sometimes stillness is good too. The ancient scriptures of Zohar speak of the face of the loving Father as the Ein Sof, that which is which by definition beyond formation. If we are to understand the face of the divine, we must begin to understand the face of the appearance of the light body that is seen when the higher intelligence of the higher mind speaks to you within your creative cycle of creation. Hi, Sirius. What's good, man? What is good, guys? What's good, everybody? Nice. Nice. Okay. Okay, guys ready? Guys ready? One of the most important sections in the New Testament takes us to 1 Thessalonians 4:13 to 18. Moreover, brothers, we do not want you to be ignorant concerning those who are sleeping in death, that you may not sorrow just as the rest also do have hope. For in our faith is that Jesus died and rose again, so too those who have fallen asleep in death, through Jesus God will bring with him. For this is what we tell you by Yahweh's word, that we the living who survive to the presence of the Lord Adonai shall in no way precede those who have fallen asleep in death. Because the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a commanding call, with an archangel's voice, and with God's trumpet, and those who are dead with union of Christ will rise first. Afterward, we the living who are surviving will together with them be caught away in clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we shall always be with the Lord. Consequently, keep comforting one another with these words. This scroll speaks of the coming of the Messiah or the Lord of Light. Whether we see this as the Tibetan text speaks of the fifth world of light coming in Lord Maitreya, the Hebrew Zohar speaks of the coming of the Messiah, the Lord of Light, or the Christian New Testament speaks of the coming of the Christos of the Christ. We are all reminded that this will take place in the heavens first and then on land. When the Christ comes, the foremost righteous will be caught up to see the Lord in the air where they will receive the blessing and co-reigning of the Christ and the dispensation of the anointing to be brought to the saints on the earth. This is a very important theme because it speaks of various time cells of creation. It refers to the consciousness of man, which must seek to be one with the Christ vibration, when the physical body, even the dust molecules of previous creation, rises into the new vibratory strictures of a new divine breath and be made into the garment of light. It's not the Bible, no. It's the Keys of Enoch. It's the Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak. That I was quoting. It was quoting the Bible in it though. It was quoting the Bible in it. We were just quoting the. It was just quoting the New Testament earlier though. What's it called? It was quoting. It was quoting First Thessalonians 4:13 to 18. Is what it was quoting actually. Yeah. What's it called? This is a mystical text that revolves around like like spiritual mastery, evolution. It's kind of new agey a little bit, but I like it for what it is. Honestly, I've been rocking with it. So hopefully we can get more deeper into it. This is a very important theme because it speaks of various time cells of creation. It refers to the consciousness of man, which must seek to be one with the Christ vibration, when the physical body, even the dust molecules of previous creation, rise into the new vibratory structure of a new divine breath and be made into the garment of light. Until that time, in the eyes of the world, one level of redemption is just as relativistic as any other level of redemption. This greater light threshold remakes all of negative mass into a collective relativity. And this precision of light particles and gathering takes man away from the physical DNA, RNA molecule codes and makes him into the image of a similitude of a whole light being. Thus, the higher mind has a way of taking all creation, Mahai Hamatim, from dust into the cosmic part and into the cosmic dust and into the light particles out of which the next emanation of a light body is made. We are told within the scroll that there is a greater light threshold which is made out of the light pulsations from every molecule of flesh, which can measure, resurrect, and reprogram all of the particles of chemical life and intelligence when a person passes through the physical state of death, which is the changing of the magnetic fields. No, First Thessalonians is speaking of this in terms of a higher relativity, which is the releasing of the physical form as if the physical form does not matter. It is the releasing of the matter and the image and similitude, which is the gravitationally trapped light. This allows a new image of man to be constructed, to flow into the similitude of the luminaries who govern the worlds beyond the earth dimension. This motion of going into a new image and similitude is respatializing into a greater vibration, which the sound of the trumpet. This can be seen in terms of a field of intelligence opening the sky with a commanding call, calling that chemical parts of creation into new intelligence, which is to go on to the next ordering of evolution. So I'm gonna stop there, and we're gonna make some notes, guys, because I want this to be like a note taking session as much as I want it to be like a reading session. But yeah, we're going to release. Yeah, we're going to read. We're gonna write some notes, guys, on what we just read. So, the ascension process is basically an evolutionary stage, and where the image and similitude that we're made in gets, I don't want to say destroyed, but it gets reformed into something different. So, what that means is that what that basically means is that, okay, so ascending ascending equals reforming. See that? Ascending equals reforming. An ascension process is a reformation. And it is a reformation of, like what the Keys of Enoch says, an image of similitude of what we're made in. So we get reshaped and recreated into a new creation. Now, my question has always been this. So I've always heard the promise of, like, we're gonna be made into a new creation, and we're gonna be like upgraded, basically, right? And I've always wondered, right, what was um like what was the point of us experiencing the 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 lower, or the lower densities? um was it so we could appreciate the higher ones, or was it so that we could understand, like we could understand something to a certain degree? So that's something you guys should think about for sure. Like, that's something I always think about. I'm like, wait a minute. So there are stages to creation, right? There are stages to creation. There are stages to ascension. There are stages to revelation. There are stages to what's it called? There are stages to connection, right? So hello, welcome to the stream. Just know, if you call me Indian again, I will not take that very kindly, because I'm more than just this. Skin is just an organ, man. Skin is just an organ. That's like me saying, what's up, white blood cells, or what's up, type A blood." You know what I'm saying? Like, skin is just an organ. It's just an organ in the body. What am I talking about? We're talking about the Keys of Enoch. We're talking about the Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, skin is just an organ. Imagine a world where we when we called people out by their blood type. Yo, what's good? B positive. What's good? A negative. What's good? C, like what the fuck? Like what the hell? Like, for what the hell? It's okay. You don't have to be scared. You just have to be lighthearted. Because to enter in the kingdom of God, we must have hearts of children. I'm transitioning between. I don't know if you guys see this, notice this in the stream, but I'm transitioning between sitting on my knees and sitting on my legs, sitting on my cross-legged. It's like a really bad habit I have. I can't sit still in one place. But yeah. So ascending equals reforming, right? Uh, Ascending equals reforming. So what that means is that the process. Here, I'm gonna write this down, guys. I'm gonna write this down. The process of aligning aligning oneself with the light. I'm getting this message of, is to be whole again. The process of us aligning oneself with the light is to be whole. Is to be whole. Haha. Is to be whole in a godly image. The process of aligning oneself with the light is to behold in a godly image, right? So what that means is that, well, what the Keys of Enoch seems to be suggesting here is that ascension is an evolutionary process that we must undergo in order to be recreated into new forms. And in these new forms, we can experience new things. And understand new things and engage in new things, uh and it's in my view, it's in my personal view that we come back to the earth, but that is also renewed. That's also renewed, and that's also recreated, and that's also remade. So, um, think of it like a. Don't think of it as necessarily like a. Don't think of it as necessarily like an ending. I would rather think of it as like a restart. You know, there's a difference between like shutting your computer down and restarting the computer. However, the part of restarting does have a shutdown kind of process to it. If you view it as if you can't see past the veil, if you can't see past the if you can't see past the what's it called? If you can't see past the darkness of crossing over the realm, the shadow of death, um it can be very difficult to understand that death is just a sleeping process, basically. And that's something I that's something I inquired from reading that Pauline scripture is essentially that death is a sleep state. Okay, so I'm gonna write this down and then we're gonna read the rest of it. Death is the sleep the sleep before waking. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to hit the singing bowl. Death is the sleep before waking. It's as simple as that. Death is the sleep before waking. And what that means to me is that death is simply just a recovery. It's not a destruction. No, it's not a destruction process. It's a recovery process. It's a rehabilitation process, basically. It's a crossover of different things. Now, people tend to hold death in like very high regards, depending on what religion you subscribe to. I feel like death is like, yes, Anna. The song already was turned, but here's a bell. Yeah, every man I know is rich as hell. But um, sounds like the wake up call to me. Yeah, death is kind of like a wake up call. Yeah, 100%. But like, uh, I think death is as scary as you can make it out to be. Honestly, I think that so long as human beings, I think there will always be a part of us that holds death to such a high degree, but I think that part of us can be disregarded. I think death can be seen. I think for the animal self, death is definitely terrifying for the ego and for the animal self. And the reason is that how do I say this? The animal self, it finds security in certainty. It finds security in knowing absolutely what's going to happen, right? The animal and the shadow self find a lot of solace in taking control over things. So when something takes them over, death is a force that takes you over, right? So if you don't know how to receive, like death is a force that takes you over. You don't take death over. Death takes you over. There's only been very few people in our history that have been able to take death over. These being Enoch, Elijah, and Jesus. Right. So even these people, they still have to face it to a certain degree. They still have to deal with it to a certain degree. They still had to fight against it to a certain degree in order to conquer it for what it was. So yeah, um, death will always be death will always be feared and highly regarded by the lower self. But in terms of like the spirit, and in terms of like the part that of us that is in alignment with the universe, it's almost like this. It's almost like this. Think of it like it's the Tao, right? If the Tao is moving in motion, it's moving. The yin and the yang, yin and yang. Death is when it starts. It starts moving really, really fast, and then it starts moving again, right? There's parts of us that when the death process happens and the Tao starts moving very quickly, they can't hold on to it. They're like, "Oh my god, like this is crazy. Like, why is it moving so fast?" Because when we die, our spirits are vibrating at such a high rate when we die. Like even if you want to look at it from a scientific perspective, what always happens on the pacemaker on the heart monitor whenever someone dies? Beep 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 beep. Before you flatline, your heart literally like moves at a rapid pace before you die. Like before you flatline, your heart literally moves at a very rapid pace, right? Like you guys can always see that in the movies too. Like when a character is dying and they got the heart monitor, and before they die, like the heart like basically like beats very fastly before it dies. What's up, Samosa? That's the same process basically. So um the animal self will always the animal self will always view death as something trying to take them over, because it kind of is, and it doesn't like to be it doesn't like to be controlled. Yes, 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 100%. Yes, Mercury can. We came talking about death, Samosa. We're talking about Zeth. We're talking not Zeth. Death. We're talking about death right now, and the process of ascension, and how death is like the kickstarter of that process, and it can be very interesting. Someone had told me that there's like different degrees of death too. There's like human death, and then there's like how like someone was telling me basically about. Oh no way! You pulled the death card this morning, and we're just talking about death. Mashallah or something, something or mashallah. Yeah, the death card is like that card follows me everywhere, man. Scorpio energy. God has indeed willed it. But yeah, we're gonna read the rest of the book, guys, because I think my dialogue on death is kind of complete. I think Zamosa joining kind of like made me realize I'm going off on a tangent a little bit. Uh, this is not speaking of the physical judgment, but the physical doom, the physical odyssey, which many Orthodox traditions have implied. To the contrary, it speaks that awakened man in this present period of consciousness time zone can understand the Ein Sof, the mind of light, which can program and reprogram instantly. The mind of man will be moved off the spatial dimension, yea, literally out of this three-dimensional light codification upon the earth, into a higher sanctification of life, where he will be one with that threshold of virtue by transfiguration. From the scrolls, the Christ energy, the Christos, is seen in a special relationship with the chemistry which already exists in the next dimension, the higher intelligence. The higher atomic appearance can be seen in the corporeal nature of the prophets of light, who will not only be sent into the next ordering of intelligence, but will take with them the righteous community of light. We at this time will understand what man has merely understood for centuries, symbolically, metaphorically, metaphysically, and mythologically. That the physical body can have a light field put around it and be taken into any dimension that the higher intelligence desires. We are told in the leaf fragments of the light in China that the bodhisattvas of light game over. I'm with the X Man. I'm pouring drop in my soda. Okay. Uh the bodhisattvas of light came down, gathered their community together with the cry of hurrah. The whole community ascended into the sky. This key is speaking of how the higher mind face of Father Universes rejoices in Sun Universes. Children of light on all planetary worlds have a phase of light generation already working through them, so as to create step functions that are in phase with the prototype, the Adam Kadmon, so their human body and their divine body unite into one body of glory. Thus, the five bodies of motion are gathered into the body of the Christos or the Christ gematria, so the elect can reason with the Christ. That then the energy vehicle. I don't know why I said gematria. Like that's so confusing. Maybe there's a reason behind it. Then the energy vehicles are gathered into the Father Universe with the trumpet of God, with the vibration of the heavenly intelligence. The elect who are chosen into the higher worlds and the transfigured body of the light are allowed to put on the Zohar body intelligence and indwell in the Father's universe. At the time, the body vehicles of light life intelligence who are to work with the sun universes will put on the body of the Christ. The Zeth. Yes, indeed. Serious. The Zeth. Those within the Father universes rejoice in continuously serving Yod He Vav He, who is the living God behind all creator gods, for Yahweh is the mind of all gods in all universes. This is very difficult to comprehend without being visited by a higher ascended master of light, or realizing this through many, many years of becoming one with the scriptures of light. God is life, and there are many. What the fuck? There are many gods because there are many universes. But Yod Vafe is the infinite mind coordinating all the universes as they shape the mental pattern which allows infinite scales of evolution to occur. Now, that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a monist, right? And so I don't think that there are many gods. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't think that there are many gods. However, I do think that there are many expressions and there are many projections and holograms of that one God that we can call emanations. So and it seems to insinuate that a little bit. I would say so. I would say it seems to insinuate that a little bit. Um, when we talk about like monotheism and polytheism, right? Dion Fortune, I feel like described it the best, where these two principles, monotheism and polytheism, are actually twin principles according to her, and it's because that there in life there's a representation of the one and the many, the collective and the individual, the singular and plural, right? Bruh, here's the most. You want to be mod in my stream? All the pagan gods can create whatever they want that has to bend to the will. Is that not a god? Yeah, but the thing is that in the monistic sense, right? The pagan god forms are usually seen as like what powers those god forms in the first place, right? So Dion Fortune makes a claim that at least with the pantheistic god forms, they are well, she said something on the lines of them being sort of like um them being a sort of sense of like an elemental. Even though pantheistic god forms, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, it's just good to have a healthy like exchange of discuss of ideas. I'm not trying to like impose anything or impede anything. I'm just trying to, I know you know that. I'm just like I just like to make that statement that I'm not trying to impose anything. I'm just trying to like let people know that this is kind of like what I subscribe to. But yeah, so Dion Fortune had a cool way of describing it that the pantheistic god forms are a type of elemental that are actually typically powered by the people who worship them, and like uh, that's why like you typically hear um yeah the reason why I stopped working with my god forms personally is because I found that I was kind of looking more towards like when I learned that the god forms were elementals, I started to realize that if I wanted to get higher in the realms, not necessarily that they were gonna put a cap on me, but that I was gonna have to look towards like sort of like different pathways. Not saying that god forms like working of like deity working of god forms is like always gonna like limit you. Like there's different like ways of approaching it for everyone, right? But I feel like for clairsentience like me, like people who are like who have like heightened feelings rather than heightened hearing and seeing, uh I think working because like a big part of working with god forms too is having heightened clairvoyance, heightened clairaudience. Like you have to hear them, right? Like me, I was just channeling them through divinatory tools. Yeah, they want you to evolve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want you to evolve certain spiritual senses that I don't think I have access to at this very moment. And yeah, uh, I just found that doing ceremonial magic, I feel like definitely complements my clairsentience more than working with god forms because I was never getting like a direct channeled message from my god forms. I would at certain times I would get certain like mantras or certain like phrases or certain like notions I like to call them. I like to call like the information that comes my way from certain beings or certain metaphysical external beings to be like notions because they're not like straight revelation where like they're like outwardly spoken to me. Yeah, not as I I wasn't I wasn't like obviously like I was talking about like the spiritual senses, right? Yeah, so like yeah, like your soul definitely compacts into that though, 100%. Uh uh God forms are a perfect like honestly they're a perfectly fine way of path working. You can path work with God forms. Like it's not with devotion to God forms, you could get pretty far. You could get pretty damn far. But am I nervous? No, I just move a lot. I don't even do meditation. I do yoga nowadays. But I wouldn't say I'm nervous. Unless the huzz is here, then I might be a little bit nervous. But as far as I know, I don't have too much of a female viewer base, and so I won't have to worry about that too much. Am I nervous? Am I nervous? Are you choking? Are you choking? All right. What's it called? Um, we're going to now. We're going to now read the rest of the stuff. isn't that idol worship? God forms, pantheistic God forms. It depends on what you view. It depends on what you view as an idol, right? Because idol, funny enough, right? The word idol actually roots in the word idea. Idol, idea, right? So, um, it really depends on on levels of it, right? If you pantheistic god forms can, like, anything can be an idol depending on your intentions and your usage of it. Is what I would sort of come to understand. Hello, oh, it's Iman. Let's go. We're just talking about pantheistic god forms and how if working with it is idol worship. I wouldn't say so. Zamosa might agree and say it is idol worship, but I wouldn't say it's idol worship because an idol to me is like a preconceived idea. It's a preconceived, like it's when you look at, like, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? I mean, the thing is that when I feel like people have, like, misrepresent, like we're gonna go with the Ten Commandments, right? We're gonna go with the Ten Commandments. The second commandment is that you shall not have any graven images on what is on heaven, earth, land, or sea, right? So that's been typically, like, misinterpreted to think like, oh, like, you can't use images in worship. But here's the thing though. N- Not all images that are used in worship are idols. That's the thing. Because words are just as much as images are. Because you know what they say, right? A picture can speak 1,000 words, right? So a word can be an idol too, right? Like, people, like, I've had atheists tell me, like, oh, I think God is an idol, and I'm like, it's perhaps you don't think that God is the idol, but the word God is the idol. Because if you just invoke the word, yeah, by that logic, a mantra can be an idol. So can a prayer. Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. If you lean, if you lean onto it in a idolatrous manner, hell yeah. Like, a mantra can be an idol. Because think about it. If you hyper fixate on something too much to where you lose the plot and you lose the oneness and you lose, like, the power, like, yeah, it becomes an idol. A prayer can definitely be an idea, can be an idol. That's where idol comes from. It comes from the word idea. I an idea, an ideology can be an idol. You know, a belief can be an idol. A, yeah. Funny enough, when religions say, like, when organized religion says, like, oh, you can't worship idols, what they're really saying is you can't worship idols that we don't approve of. Basically, that's basically what they're saying. They're basically saying, like, organized religion basically says that you can't worship our approved of idols, our ordained idols, because venerate Zamosa is technically right. That veneration of images is idolatry, and even if you don't venerate actual images or icons of people, a certain image. Like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? I'll explain it to you like this. I'll explain it to you like this. Yeah, literally. Yeah, but the thing is this, guys. Um, Even something as having, like, an image of what worship looks like, that is also an idol. So, for example, when organized people religious say, "Oh, you have to worship like this in order to unlock God's presence," that's also an idol, right? So, can God forms be idols? 100%. Hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. You guys should hopefully I'm not giving you guys vertigo of how much I'm rocking back and forth, but I just got a lot of energy today. I got so much energy. But we're doing good. We're talking about we're talking about so we're reading the Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak, and there was a specific part in it that I wanted to talk about where it says that there are many gods because there are many universes, and I wanted to talk about how I think what J.J. Hurtak means by that is that like or maybe he does mean it in a polytheistic sense, and I'm just putting words in his mouth. But I was just basing my views off of like the contrast between monotheism and polytheism, and how Dion Fortune says that these two principles are relative to each other, and that they actually reflect off of each other, and that they're related to each other in a in a polarizing sense, in a polarizing sense. Monotheism and polytheism are dual aspects of each other. They're just seen, and she has a book where we could read this next. Actually, guys, we could read this next if you guys want. Uh, what's my secret to having so much energy? Um, uh, look, it's gonna sound very, very corny, everybody. It's gonna sound very corny, but Iman, but ask a very good question. Uh, did you get the? Did you get the? Did you get the Zakir Naik reference? But that's a very good question. uh, it's all in the heart. I'm being honest with you. It's in my passion to do things. It's in my passion to Kenny Naik. Yeah, exactly, Zamofa. But yeah, yeah, that's a very good question. What is the key to getting so much energy? Honestly, I find it to be abundance of passion, abundance of conviction, and abundance of yeah, 100%. Yeah, it does also help when these monotheistic pantheons are very male right now. We're supposed to be in the Aeon of the Child, but yet we still have these Aeon of Osiris pantheons taking us over. What a drag! What a drag indeed. I'm not really subscribed to that whole timeline, by the way. I'm just the phrasing right here that these people claim we're in the childlike era, but we're still very stern on ourselves about things that I think we should be more free about if we are in the era of the child. And then things that we should be more stern about ourselves on, we're childish about it. So yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was just like paraphrasing. Like this guy says we're supposed to be in the Aeon of children, but yet we don't really we're kind I don't know like I don't even know what type of era we can call this, to be honest. I call it the era of indecisiveness because there's so much information. We don't have the discernment to know what is real and what is fake information. It's just too much information on the goddamn internet, too much information in the goddamn libraries, too much information in the goddamn schools, too much information on the goddamn news. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just TMI everywhere. You know, I feel like we're in the age and where we have to make a discernment, basically. There's too much information. We just got too much of it. Like it's like where did the time go? Where did the time go? Okay, guys, we're gonna continue. And because of this, the children of light see that it is foolish to talk in terms of normative values, for their mind recognizes the ephemeral state of peace and happiness in this world. For the world remains continually in chaos, and the child of God sees that complete harmony cannot be achieved in this dimension, and only by awakening to the inner light will this which is in the world but not of the world be completely transfigured into the heavens of the eternal day. Therefore, it is said in First Thessalonians, "You are all sons of light and sons of day." In other words, you are all sons of the light that focus of that light projection which must be resurrected as a divine thought form. Let it remain within the graviton structure of the solar paradigm. This explains why the majority of mankind reincarnates back into this biochemical plasma again and again, only to sit and look at their navel, to wonder why violence must overtake the peaceful and righteous. This planetary bondage has to go beyond its light field, otherwise it simply allows for matter energy to reincarnate back into the same chemical pattern of relativity. Enoch is saying in this key that there is a greater field of light that you can rejoice in. And until you rejoice in that greater light continuum, which allows infinite varieties to take place, you will become a time server of what Earth society considers security and peace. Ascended Master Paul, okay, he thinks Paul is an ascended master. That's red flag number 2. Ascended Master Paul then tells us in First Thessalonians 5 6 to 11. So then let us not sleep on as the rest do, namely those people who think that this is it, and continue to sleep in spite of what their inner nature tells them. But let us stay awake and keep our senses. For those who sleep are accustomed to sleep at night, and those who get drunk are usually drunk at night. But as for us who belong to the day, let us keep our senses and have on the breastplate of faith and love as a helmet the hope of salvation, because God assigned us not to wrath, but to acquiring our salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us that whether we stay awake or sleep, we should live together with Him. Therefore, comforting one another and building one another up, just as you are in fact doing. Here, man, operating with the higher dimension at light, is seen involved in something greater than dialects. He understands his relationship to the ongoing space time that he is a part of, lest he be recycled within the light cone of his order of relativity. They use the archetypes a lot in this one. Uh, so some of this is like some of this is kind of like taken from actual scripture, but that's so funny. He thinks Paul's an ascended master. That's fucking. I'm sent, bro. I'm sent. I'm sent. I'm sent. I'm sent. I'm sent. I'm sent. That's hilarious. I'm not sure how much. I don't know how to feel about that. That's. Oh man. I mean, I've read some of Elaine Pagel's Gnostic Paul though. Like it's. I'm not saying Paul is invalid, but ascended master. Nah, nah, nah. That's nah. I'm a child of the night. Sue me. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, obviously when they're talking about like people like child of the day, they're not saying you can't value the moon, right? They're just saying that by the day they mean like perpetual energy, right? Because there's like a motion and there's like a resting period, right? So it's like although what's so wrong with resting though? I mean, I think the whole like this is talked about a lot in like typical like like orthodox kind of arguments where, oh, in heaven, like there will be no night, it will just be day eternally. I'll be like, dog, what the hell? Like that sucks. Like I wanted to see the stars in heaven. I wanted to see the moon in heaven. I wanted to see all these beautiful things. Or I want to see all these beautiful nightly attractions. Like, what do you mean there's no night in heaven? Have you fucking been there? Have you been there to know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean there's no night in heaven? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Nightly attractions, 100%. I've been into nightly realms. The most of them. I had this one dream where I went to the sixth dimension, and I went to like this void space or like this abyssal space in the dream where everything was like night and everything was like silhouettes and stuff like that. So I don't think that when they're talking about I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here, but I don't think that when they're talking about like, oh, like an eternal day, that they literally mean like, oh yeah, it's gonna be sunlight through and throughout, because that would be boring. That would be so goddamn boring. I think what they mean by an eternal day is like it's just one long day. Like our eternity is just gonna be one long day. There will never be like a time and where we have to like end it. Basically, it'll be like one, like when they mean like yeah, it's metaphorical 100%. What's this live stream about? Welcome. It smells funny because we're in a trap house right now. We making that crystal meth, you dig? That's why it smells funny. It smells funny because we're making crystal meth in the kitchen right now. Jesse. I'm This is the moment that Kenter White became Husseinberg. Heisenberg. Yes, you guys. I just called the cops. this live this live stream is about us reading the JJ Hurtak's. Yeah, we're reading the Keys of Enoch by JJ Hurtak. I've had this book for like a couple of months now. I just never really got to finishing it, and you guys are helping me stay accountable in finishing all the books that I what's it called, that I read. So appreciate you guys for that. Appreciate you guys for holding me accountable. But yeah, guys, guess what? We get 3 more hours of this. Let's go. We get 3 more hours of this. I was able to extend the stream all the way up to 4. So we could literally stream for as long as you guys want, if you guys really want. We can stream. We could probably finish the book on stream, honestly. But I might not do that. But um yeah, I'm gonna be streaming till I go to work. So because I don't want to be caught lacking. I don't know. Streaming also helps me like stay accountable in like daily struggles against vices, daily struggles against bad behavior. So it's like helping me stay on stream helps my idle hands be active. Because it says that the idle mind and the idle hands are the devil's playground. Yeah, of course. But yeah, we're not gonna lose the plot. Don't worry. We're not gonna lose the plot. We're not gonna lose the plot. Don't worry. We're not gonna lose the plot. Just you wait. We're not gonna lose the plot. Trust me. I'm not gonna lose the plot. He understands his relationship to the ongoing space-time that he is a part of, lest he be recycled within the light cone of this order of relativity. He must place his faith on the helmet of hope and of salvation. He must teach the mind force of people to understand how the hierarchy operates in the larger system of remaking the planetary creation. Man dwells on a world which emphasis on the physical body and seeks to direct his attention to the chemical shell which it considers to the seat of its intelligence. Yet it is only the lowest incarnation of spirit embodiment. The child of God puts us on the breastplate of faith because he walks in this world which will not accept evidence of higher truths and which will attack him if he tries to raise his consciousness and the consciousness of the masses of the world. The child of God must wear, however, not the breastplate of hostility and violence, but faith. The true sons of light will always know that there's a spirit of restoration within the nature of the higher faith, which will continue the work of the overself body and shall issue forth as many garments as necessary for the accomplishment of the works of the Lord. Let's see. Okay. The more you pour out the gifts of the Spirit, the more the Spirit awakens your senses so that you do not have to sleep in the consciousness of death which before the rebirth of light. Paul is also drawing attention to the fact that the ancient brotherhoods worked and studied at night with solar influences on the mind are diminished, per, permitting the light influences of the higher star luminaries to be recognized, and permitting the mind to communicate with the light of Merkaba by creating focal geometries and using sacred mantras to modulate wave factors and descending of mind signals. We get a better understanding of this as Paul continues 1 Thessalonians 5:12-13. Now we request you, brothers, to have regard for those who are working hard among you and presiding over you in the Lord and admonishing you, and to give them more than extraordinary consideration and love because of their work. Paul is saying that this of those who are working hard with their creative energies, with their light energies, for the epistle is addressing to the believers who are already sons of light. They are sons of light, who are sons of light of only one consciousness faith. There are sons of light who are sons of light on all points of consciousness who are workers. He is saying that those who work the work of salvation are doing greater work because they're actually focusing all of the energy on the yom or the cycle of light of this day into the consciousness dimension where man can truly feel it. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. Paul is speaking of the ability to bring this light energy to the 12 emanations of light within the physical vehicle. We are told then that mathematically within the astronomy of Zohar that the brothers are to work collectively as the brothers, that no man is to work independent of his source of energy, and his source of energy will only work if he has the breastplate of faith and the helmet of hope. He must have all those sensory conditions fulfilled to open up his physical force field or chakra centers for the Christ body to indwell. Paul is writing this because there are brethren who are temporal children of light and receive only certain emanations of light by belief, yet stop evolving at a particular point. He tells them that the channel of light that is working through the helmet and the breastplate is continual, that this focus of language of the Urim and Thummim, all of the energy charges which come through your heart chakra, must be in league with your Kether fire of faith. It is only when you use this fiery kether of the physical body that you understand that the body is a machine which works continually with light inputs as a chemical counterpart to our sun system. You have to understand that this is the greater context of keeping the higher light system coming to you, lest it simply becomes an intellectual mental resonance rather than a complete transformation of all chakras. With this in mind, we can understand 1 Thessalonians 5:14-23. On the other hand, we exhort you, brothers, admonish the disorderly, speak consoling to the depressed souls, support the weak, be long-suffering towards all. See that no one renders injury for injury to anyone else, but always pursues what is good towards one another and to all others. Always be rejoicing. Pray incessantly. In connection with everything, give thanks. For this is the will of God and union with the Christos respecting you. Do not put out the fire of the Spirit. Do not treat prophesying with contempt. Make sure of all things, hold fast to what is fine. Abstain from every work of wickedness. May the very God of peace, sanctify you completely. This is the God force of peace. This is not the political peace of the world. It is the peace of the passive, the all human understanding. It is the peace of knowing that there is no such thing as death, that you are a part of the great overself of light. Out of that greater overself, all the chemical cells are redefined. remodulated, and reprojected depending upon the assignments of the higher mind, of the higher level of creation involved with your level of vibratory creation on the molecular level. It is the peace of knowing that you are a co-participant and co-citizen in many universes. Paul said that you have peace in knowing that you are a son of light. You will go into many kingdoms of light, and you will not remain in this kingdom of darkness. Is this the kingdom of darkness, though? I wouldn't say that. Can you say future? Future? Like the artist? Pink Molly let me dance with her. Freestyle let me dance with her. Sky Dweller, it was sentimental. Rose Gold, it was sentimental. Like that future? Like that future is pretty cool. I said it like 3 times. Hopefully that's like good for you. But only then can you be a light unto the nations of the world, as a channel of light unto the people in the same way that channels are within you from the higher peoples of light. First Thessalonians then continues with 5:23-28. May the very God of peace sanctify you completely, and sound in every aspect and every respect. May the spirit of your soul be and body of you be preserved in a blameless manner at the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ. He who is calling you is faithful, and he will also do it. Brothers, continue now in prayer for us. Greet all the brothers with a holy kiss. I am putting you under solemn obligation by the Lord for this letter to be read to all brothers. The undeserved kindness of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you. I mean, the type like the earthquake future, the Bavisan, the Bavishiani. I've never actually heard of that before. Damn, why am I yawning at 1 in the afternoon? I wonder what it's about. You should tell me about it if you have the time to. But we're gonna keep reading. The Brotherhood of Light teaches the living light of love, operating with the agape, the operating with the, I guess the will, operating with the will, the sacred kiss upon the third eye, which is the seal necessary to open to the seed crystal light of the telethought of communication. If the brothers of the higher wavelength of the light truly walk and emanate the light, they will not reject the prophesying in the name of the Father, but they will understand the ongoing house of prophecy, which will continue because the universe is always remaking itself in the channels of light. When Paul speaks of the God of peace completely sanctifying you soundly and asking that the spirit, soul, and body be preserved, he is not speaking about the old Babylonian myth of body, mind, and spirit. He is not confusing spirit and word, or as spiritists would say, psyche and pneuma. He is not confusing spirit and soul, or as the spirit would say, psyche and pneuma, as one word and the same thing. He is making a distinction between body of consciousness, the soul, and the spirit of light, which is a dimension of intelligence given directly by the hierarchy of Yod He Vav He. The spirit of light. Bro, why am I yawning? The spirit of light is given to the physical evolution to increase our genetic capacity for light at a point where the physical evolution becomes the higher evolution. He says, he who is calling to you is faithful. Now, who is this person who is calling you? The spirit of the Christos is calling you, and you are his faithful ones. He left his physical dimension here and has ascended into the higher realms of intelligence only to come back to redeem the physical dimension. The spirit of the Christos is calling you beyond all earthly dualities of light versus darkness. Paul is telling the brethren of light, generate vibration of light by prayer, and greet all brothers of light with a holy kiss in the third eye, because it activates your seed crystal. This light temple of the spiritual mind phase can be modulated by the supreme intelligence from advanced system life systems to your life system. When you accept the faith and the love of the living Yod He Vad He, which are beyond all infinite systems, you are activated into a threshold of light where you are able to see, perceive, and participate in these things other than the kingdom of light. Man is no longer locked in the darkness of the temple of the body. He has no longer lived from night to day. He no longer sleeps within a sensory body at night, but he lives in the eternal Eshuhon. And this is the message of Enoch, that I bear record of the Father, and the Father bear record of the Shekinah kingdom within us. I command all men everywhere to repent and accept the living light. And the one having insight will shine like the brightness of the expanse, and those who are bringing the many to the righteous like the stars to the indefinite, even forever. Hold up. It's got some Hebrew on it. It's got some Hebrew on it, guys. Look. Right here. It's got some Hebrew on it. I want to translate it into Gematria just to see what it gets me. But I'm not gonna end stream. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna end stream. However, I am going to go upstairs real quick to go pray. Like I'm gonna go say a prayer real quick because it's time for me to pray. I am gonna continue the stream though, but I wanted to strike the singing bowl a few times before I take a break. But we're gonna have to take intermediary breaks between a lot of these because there are a lot to take in, and this one was very long too. Okay, all right. Honestly, okay. If you clarify that question, I'll answer it when I come. Well, if you clarify that question, I'll answer it when I come back. But here, let me just strike the bowl a few times though. Be right back, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna go pray because prayer is important, and having a consistent spiritual life and communication with God is important than having a live stream. Be right back, guys. I did not mean to do that. And I have 0 viewers. I'm just kidding. I went to go pray. I'm back. All right. So moving on to what we were reading in the Keys of Enoch. Sorry, I had to go pray, guys. I had to go pray. When prayer calls, you must answer and respond. Hmm, 19, eh? 19. Okay. This is the next key of Enoch. And we're going to be reading up on God's plan has no end. It is the life in the house of many mansions. That's what it says. Sorry. That's what it says there. God's plan has no end. It is the life of the house of many mansions. And the image that you guys see there, that's the letter Yod and that's the letter Tet. So altogether that makes 19. Which has some significance in Islamic numerology, if you guys know, Interesting. Okay. Just looking at a visual here in the book right now. It's a divine structure. I think it looks cool. Definitely got some Masonic imagery to it for sure. Definitely got some Masonic imagery. It's a hierarchy. It's a divine hierarchy. That's what it is. But yeah. Well, the divine hierarchy is it's a systematic model of how the chain of emanation goes from. So think of it like this: there's like a source energy, right? It's like a source energy, and kind of like the sun almost, right? And then from that, the source energy emanates and projects their essence down into a hierarchy of different hypostatic beings, angels, elements, all these different things. They basically like the divine hierarchy basically sets like the precedent of divine hierarchy basically sets the precedent of how the emanation process works, where it travels to in its process of emanating, where it overflows into, how it's composed. I want to say is another thing as a part of divine hierarchy as well. Uh, Kind of reflective of our society a little bit, how there's roles in our society and how there's like positions and levels of like servitude in our society. It's kind of like that a little bit. Actually, some people claim that we we gained like our like this type of hierarchical like kind of structure in our society is a imitation of the divine hierarchical structure in our society. But yeah. All right, might as well read. Might as well read. Behold, now the marvelous plan takes place among the children of light. A divine plan has been issued to balance the earth and man's violation of the cosmic law of light and love. This plan has been issued to negate man's violation and destruction of his atmosphere and his radiation field, especially through the misuse of atomic energy. He has also caused destruction to many biological kingdoms on planetary life station known as planet Earth. Man has shown that he has lost control of the planet by virtue of the danger he not only presents to himself, but to the surrounding planetary environments by his pursuit of atomic energy for destructive use. In addition, the councils that govern our planetary field have also observed man's desire to extend his planetary society to other planetary regions without spiritual understanding and still using a technology of death. These councils include the Council of Nine, which governs our local universe, the Council of 12, which governs the new programs of creation of our local universe and surrounding universes, and the Council of 144, which is the overseer of spiritual hierarchies in 12 and universes comprising of our Father universe. There is presently occurring a space-time overlap with the higher evolution as the Earth's solar system enters an electromagnetic null zone, a vacuum area in space which will change the magnetic forces of creation. The change of the electromagnetic density in the Earth's atmosphere will activate some species to become more violent and other species more Christ-like as man is pulled up either into an upward spiral of light or negated by the breakdown of the old electromagnetic frequency. Hold up. Let's pull you closer to me, guys. There we go. This was more comfortable for me. So it's more comfy. I'm gonna get comfy. This will bring about a complete reorganization of the Earth's life system as the human creation begins to operate with a new magnetic and electromagnetic creative power. Presently, there's also a galactic war and house cleaning that is being completed throughout the universe, which will advance some forms of population 1 intelligence to population 2 star regions, and then recycle those forms to population 2 intelligence, which have used their knowledge to create aberrations in the heavens. After the completion of the program historically known as, which means in the original Hebrew schools, the consciousness of light which contends with the higher mind until victory, there will be a consciousness pre-programming of mankind on this planet and the region originally identified with Atlantis. The program is one of many within the infinite way, which intersects with many different levels of intelligence. At the culmination of the Father's plan for a new program victory will signal the gathering of the tribes of the spiritual ones. The 12 consciousness dimensions of spiritual man will receive their central programming in the original land of the Ancient of Days. This is the sacred land of the West, which is the region of the original grids used by masters of Yahweh, 3 to 4,000 Mir. Upon this grid, a new crystallization will create as the cycles of the East and West combine to receive the living light of the Christ, reigning upon the planet through the Brotherhood of Light. Thus, the program will become the new plan of victory, which allows intelligence of this planet to freely move upon other planets, and at the same time invite other planetary intelligence to commune with this planet. Before the new story of creation happens, the Earth will go through gross geomagnetic and catastrophic changes as the magnetic regions of the North and South Pole release their torque, spinning the shell of the Earth into the new program of existence. During the completion of cycles of star progression, sorry guys, sorry for yawning. During the completion of cycles of star progression, our entire solar system will enter into a vacuum in space where no electromagnetic field exists. This is called an electromagnetic null zone. At that time, cosmic waves will enter the polar areas of our Earth and penetrate the very core of our globe. These waves will not only release some 48.6 tons to the power of 15 ton miles of torque on the Earth, but will trigger unseen wave properties from the Earth, from the core of the Earth, placing catastrophic streaks on the shell of the Earth and spinning the magnetic field of the Earth. The world shall fulfill the cycle of realms prophesied as they entered into the new meridian of time, the coming together of hidden scientific prophecy of the 9 oracles which confirm the changing of the polar regions. After this purification, the potential omega is set within the new spherical surface, harmonies and wonderful recreation of the world is allowed to proceed into a new cycle of husbandry. There is now occurring the fulfillment of ancient spiritual and scientific prophecy through the 64 keys of Enoch, the revelation breaking down the 7 seals of the book of Revelation, as we explain how the Brotherhood of Light will work with members like the human race who can accept the promise of new life in the myriad of other universes. We are now witnessing the coming together of scientific evolution and consciousness as both unite into the consciousness of living light, the energy used by the infinite mind, the infinite space, the infinite creation, and the infinite space. The living light will be understood in the code I am that I am, Ahir Asher Ahir, as the consciousness of light. Of one star creation is attached to the I am consciousness of the higher evolution, forming the I am that I am. For behold, the field is white and ready for harvest, and when you give your life to the harvesting of this planet station, a greater humanization, a greater ionization becomes your body, and your new light and your new body of light is connected with the galactic threshold of the house of many mansions, which is deliverance of all manner of flesh. Whoa. Uh, in this unification of I am to I am, the higher evolution to the spiritual hierarchies begins new evolutionary cycles at the end of this cycle. Collective Messiah, Moses, Jesus, Elijah, at the paradise trinity of the Christ, will return with Uriel, the creator of inner light, Metatron, the creator of outer light, and Michael, the creator of the local galactic universe, as a demonstration of the return of the programmers of the Father's will, and gathering the remaining righteous on this earth who will be graduated to go on to other light life worlds. And it will occur after the wars between the sons of light versus the sons of darkness, but a new age will occur for all mankind surviving the great changes among all the vicissitudes on the planet. However, who will not choose to be chosen and taking the spirit of the higher spirit spiral of light instead of the lower spiral of decay and entropy will not receive final destruction, but a return to the beginnings of metamatter and primeval earth. This will begin the next cycle of recreation as the righteous are advanced to the next ordering of evolution within the next consciousness time. So, as co-citizens and co-participants in myriads of dimensions of the universal mind of Yod He Vav He behind all creator gods. And it will come to pass that when the Lords of Light connect this living world with the next order of evolution, the body of man will go through the body of the pyramid of flesh and crystal and be transfigured into the next star pyramid of light, eventually going beyond numerous galactic divisions, where all things are connected with the Father Cosmic Pyramid, which integrates all central cosmos, all administrative networks behind all macrocosms. The key then tells us that God's plan has no end. It is the life of life in the house of many mansions of paradise, sun universes, and ultimately the life of light in the many father universes. To the master who faithfully served the Father in the lower dust, world creations is given the opportunity to acquire the nature of being self-begotten, self-sustaining, and self-creating in the name of Yod He Vav He. And the master progresses in the worlds of light. He moves from the ability of having only one embodiment of light on the edge of his local universe to the ability to indwell in nine bodies by being creative from the center of his universe. Thus, the master becomes the Lord of Light and serves equally all nine times of consciousness in this local universe of Michael. The keys of Enoch are fulfilled through the hierarchy of the Paradise Sons, who operate in these 9 bodies of light consciousness through their efforts with the office of Christ. God's righteous inherit the kingdom of light. Death is swallowed up by the victory, and Hosanna is heard on all lips. Selah. Whoa. Mathematical formula. Okay. Selected star systems are permitted changes in their peristellar and epistellar controls, allowing for connections of double and multiple star patterns from other mentioned worlds. This enables the lower heavens to be recharged and the light advanced intelligence to evolve from one sun system into multiple sun systems of both the physical sun system of a given universe and spiritual sun systems of the house of many mansions. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, okay. There we go. So I just have to wake myself up a little bit. I was getting a little bit tired. But yeah, I'm awake now. But have to stretch, do some breathing techniques. Good to keep yourself awake. Oh, and again, a viewer too by coming back. Oh, how nice, how quaint. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. We know through the higher teachings of science that there are regions in the center of our galaxy which have microns of light emanation as high as 100 microunits. And we know that there are brilliant star fields such as the region of W3 in our local universe, which are parts of the central configuration of north, south, east, and west, celestial gates of the throne of our local universe. There are regions of population 2 star systems burning with the energy of millions and millions of suns. And it must be understood that population 2 star systems, which have zero point 0.2 micron emissions, are synonyms with their inner testing of the throne, which govern tests of 100, 100 billion stars in the visible spectrum of our mansion world system. Enoch told me that the power of population 2 star systems can create a whole variety of species formed by double helical interpenetration from one networking center to a coexisting quantum deck of worlds, having the potential for all time, length, masses, and energies for unity between the mansion worlds. Movement to the pure goodness transcends the biochemical boundary limit of each planet called the Mazzaroth. The Mazzaroth allow for the development of a new species connecting the 12 biochemical meridians. Once this is completed, the species will go beyond this series and of connections into a new network containing supergalactic clusters known as the Mazzaroth. Enoch told me that the next local Mazzaroth begins at 1.5 to 2 million light years from here. Give me a second. Whoa, hold up. My touchscreen ain't working. What the hell? Alright, well I guess I'm locked in. Stream. I can't go beyond. My touchscreen isn't working right now, so I guess I gotta go beyond plus ultra. I want to change some configurations, but I guess not. Okay, I'm gonna continue. We're gonna lock in, chat. We're gonna lock in. The Council of Intelligence from the This is being revealed to Earth radio physics because of the 73 sources of higher light generations. 12 cannot be identified as conforming to the commonly measured light radio emissions, but 12 conform to what Earthman classifies as new invisible spectrums of radio stars, which appear to be working at a maximum emission of 100 micron region. The question is, how can star clusters appear to have light working with 100 microns when the population of one common star creates light working with a maximum of 50 microns? Hold on. The question is, how can star clusters appear to have light with 100 micro? Okay, hold up. Enoch said the greatest fields of star creation in our universe, which can spawn new energy systems, are the collective energy fields of Orion. In these fields, there are light sources from which fields uh, form fields of triangular star definitions, which we cannot classify, for they are beyond all forms of spectrum classification that man uses. These triangular stars definitions contain brilliant light sources necessary to evolve the amino acids into the basic life structure of thinking intelligence. But triangular coordinates are known as the most sacred area of Orion, known as Ihim-Isk. The three stars in the belt of Orion form the central grid, which is used by the Lords of Light in Orion as the star focal point for the creation of new galaxies. It was also revealed that this region of Sagittarius has tremendous energy projections which trail out the energy of our galaxy like arrows of light working with speeds going faster than our sun's light. By matching color spectrums, however, the Hubble redshift is not necessarily for intelligence, but to appear to the quantum deck of some other world. Through the expression, 49 transitional states of consciousness are used to teach man how his conscious options can be integrated with other consciousness time zones and space production. By a boundary identity of exact opposites, the fission of a quantum scale and fusion of fragments come back to a quantum mass can be generated into a new perception quality and man into a new operational entity. Enoch told me that a blue-white solar spectrum will be placed over our solar system by the Brotherhood of Light so as to prevent our sun from going through star collapse, while the species is reprogrammed to go from a third-dimensional field of crystal to a fifth-dimensional field of crystal as part of a higher evolutionary plan. At that time, some spiritual beings who have been transfigured by the higher light will go into the next threshold of being and become multi-dimensional intelligence. Do give ear to this and know that the God's light scatters the sun mass as the magnetic bonds of the constellations are loosened. Know that the lightning sent to the extremes of the earth as a seal. All you love God, He will set His statues at His council of the heavens before earth. Man will see that the boundaries of lines of intelligence are not defined according to our sun system. Instead, the boundary lines of intelligence bring their own star energies with them to blossom anew wherever the star seed is passed. In the overall creation, soul advancement can proceed to these new stars, universes, blossoming anew only if the soul has cultivated the energy to go on. The insufficient psyche without soul development, however, is not destroyed, but as a drop fallen into a vast ocean of light, return to a new primeval aeons, where the more painful task of metamaterial creation must begin anew in its own way. Enoch explained that God's place has no end. Even throughout our local universe, life continues to create itself. Man is doomed to perfection, and when you realize this, you will understand why the Father's house has many mansions. Amen. Okay, nice. Hopefully I didn't mess up the live. But give me 1 second, guys. All right. Uh, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream now. I want to do more things in the day. Unfortunately, guys, like I would love to stream all afternoon, but I got important things I gotta do today. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta go eat. I gotta go exercise. Oh, I already said I was going to the gym, but yeah. Uh, I'm gonna leave you guys off, however, on the next key we're gonna be reading. And oh wow, very nice. I'm gonna leave you guys off on the next key we're gonna read, and yeah, I just give you guys some visuals on what it looks like. That's what it looks like, and I like this photo too. I like this photo as well. This photo is very nice. Kind of reminds me of Zosimos a little bit. Definitely got that Egyptian vibe to it. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm very visibly like kind of. This week's been kind of off for me, I'll say. But regardless, I'm still getting stuff done, still progressing, still striving. So without further ado, guys, this has to be a short stream. Unfortunately, I can't do a stream that was like twice the limit length of last stream, but it's all good because you guys know me. I'm always looking forward to trying new things. I love the afternoon streams, but honestly, the night streams seem to be more optimal to my kind of style. So yeah, let's go with those more. But without further ado, guys, my name is Ken from the Ikwan Hub. If you guys would like to have any last comments, any last concerns, any last questions, be sure to relay them to me. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes before I cut to go to the gym. But yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. Just want to spend some time, hopefully, like culminating a nice viewer base. W stream though, guys. W stream. Peace out, guys. Love.